Hey everyone, it's Lara from the blog artreallyhouse.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a moisturizing, gentle baby soap bar. So this soap bar is going to be great if you have young children. I have a baby, but I also use the same soap that I use on him as I do on all of my kids. My oldest one is 8. So this is a really good, just gentle soap bar that's going to lather and be made with all natural ingredients. So it's perfect for little kids and babies' sensitive skin. This bar of soap can be used for a baby shampoo and wash for children that are like under 1 and have that really fine baby hair. I find that it works really well for that. So this is going to be a cold processed soap bar. So before I get started, I'm going to put on my safety glasses or goggles here and also my big rubber gloves because I'm going to be working with lye. You want to make sure that you are in a pretty big, open, well-ventilated room, or if you have the option to be outside, that would be good too. And no children or pets or anything like that around, because lye, before it's mixed in with the oils, is a very dangerous substance. So this soap is still natural because every soap has lye in it. It's just what makes the oils and the butters mixed together to form the soap. And so the lye is in every soap, and once it's mixed in, it is no longer dangerous at all. But while you are making it, you need to make sure that you have the proper safety equipment before doing so. Now you need a digital scale for making soap because your measurements have to be pretty exact in order for it to come to trace and to make a proper soap bar. So I'm going to link this one that I have here down in my description box. I've had it for a couple years and I use it to make all of my soap. It's really easy to use. So I like this. And then I'm just gonna start off by measuring my lye first. I'm gonna place this bowl on my scale and just zero it out, and then I'm going to measure my water first. For my recipe, I'm using 5.18 ounces of water. Now this does need to be pretty exact. If you want to change up the recipe at all, I will link the soap calculator that I use for my measurements, so then you can recalculate to figure out your exact measurements. Okay, now I'm just going to set my water aside here, and now I'm going to measure my lye in this mason jar. You want to make sure that you use heat resistant glass or something that's safe for making soap in. There are some like metal containers and different things that you can buy. I've had some people tell me that using glass is not the best option. I did some research and I've done this multiple times, and I have noticed that the mason jars that are made for like canning that can be boiled work fine. And with my research, I find that it works okay, but you can look into that yourself, deciding what you think is best for mixing your lye and water, because you will notice when you mix the lye into the water, it is going to get very hot. So you want to make sure that you have something that's heat resistant. That's why I'm using this mason jar here and also this Pyrex glass bowl. Both of these are good for high heats. So I'm going to measure 2.3 ounces of lye. Okay, so now I'm just going to mix my lye into my water slowly and stir it up until it is all dissolved in, and then I'm just going to set that aside and we'll go on to the next part of the recipe. Okay, so now that I have my lye mixed together and set aside, I'm going to remove my goggles and my safety gloves. I'll put this back on in a minute whenever we mix the oils and lye together. But for now, we're just gonna be measuring out the oils and butters that we're gonna be using inside of our soap bar. So for this soap bar, I'm gonna be using a combination of coconut oil, I'm gonna use some mango butter, and also some jojoba oil. Now, these three oils or fats are really, really nourishing to the skin. They're very moisturizing. And the best part is that they're very gentle. So they're great for baby's skin. What we're gonna do is we're gonna measure these. Again, you wanna make sure that they're real exact in here in my little Pyrex measuring dish here to make sure that I'm exactly right with my scale. And I'm gonna add all of them here to this saucepan. And then I'm just going to heat the ingredients over some low heat. And once everything is melted, I'm gonna allow these to cool back down to about 100 degrees. I'm just gonna use a candy thermometer or kitchen thermometer to check that. And then we will mix in the lye water until it comes to trace. Okay, now I'm gonna do 8 ounces of my mango butter. Okay, now I'm going to do 4 ounces of jojoba oil, and since this is a new container and it is 4 ounces, I'm just going to pour it straight into the saucepan. Okay, so now that my oils have cooled back down, it is time to put my safety goggles back on along with my gloves, and we are going to mix together the lye water into the oils. Now at this time, if you want to add in any essential oils, you can do that, and I just add them straight in here to my coconut oil, mango butter, jojoba oil mixture. For babies, I find that lavender essential oil, Roman chamomile, jasmine, some of those floral oils are some of the best. They're just so gentle and they smell amazing, and they're really calming. So those are some great oils to use for your baby because they might help them to sleep a little better at nighttime, especially if you do bath time or before bed. So I have this jasmine oil. I'm gonna put a few drops of each of these in. Now in this amount of soap, I'm just doing about 10 drops of oil since this is for a baby. Now, if you want it to be a stronger scent, you can add a little bit more, but we want to keep it pretty diluted since this is specifically for a baby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an immersion blender to get this to come to trace. So we're gonna add the lye water slowly and just start blending it up. My soap is in the mold. I'm just gonna let this sit for 24 hours up to 3 days. It kind of depends on how much you make. This is gonna make about 6 bars of soap. So you can do it in any type of mold that you want. This will probably take about 24 hours to dry, and then once it's dry, I'm going to pop it out of this purple mold here, and I will slice it with a soap cutting knife, and then my soap will need to cure. Now to cure your soap, you're gonna want to set it on either a curing rack, or if you don't have a curing rack like I don't, you can just put them in a 9x13 pan, separate them, make sure that they're not touching each other, and they can get a lot of air for about 3 weeks. So I usually put mine in my container and put them in my basement where it's kind of darker, cool, and let them cure. And then about 3 to 4 weeks, you wanna make sure they're completely dry. That's gonna make your soap bar last longer and not kind of melt away when it's in the shower. And then it will be ready to use. Hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I have several more DIY soap bars, so I will link those videos down in my description box. I have a moisturizing hand soap bar. I have a tallow soap bar. I just have a really easy cold process soap bar, so I have lots of different ones. I also share some melt and pour soap bars, so if you're not ready to mess with the Lye yet, you can just use a melt and pour soap base. So I'm gonna link all of those soap recipes down in my description box, just the complete playlist. And so if you are ready to start making soap, you can decide which one you wanna make. I'm also going to put down there links for all the stuff that I used here today, so you can know where to get the soap mold from and where to get your digital scale and the Lye and all the things you need to make soap. So I hope this video was helpful and that you guys enjoyed it. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I get out 2 new videos every single week where I share a lot of DIY skincare, natural homemade soaps like this, and I also share a lot of from scratch cooking, cook with me type videos too. So if that's the kind of content you're looking for, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you all in the next video.